spent 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Obamacare and all of its promises. Among them, we were told we would get 400,000 jobs immediately and 4 million jobs over its lifetime. Since President Obama has taken office, we have 10 million fewer jobs in America. More than 90 million people who could be working are not working. And now the CBO tells us that we will lose 2.5 million jobs over the next short period of time. But that's no problem, because the administration's position now is that frees up you to be a better parent, to cook dinner for your kids, maybe even hit the gym and start that business you've always wanted to start up. And right here in Florida, the NRA versus the Second Amendment Protection Act say it isn't so. Pull up a chair. Join me and Daryl Day in just a moment. If you've lost your job to Obamacare, not to worry. The administration promised that Obamacare was a jobs program, but now we're finding out that over 97% of brand new jobs in the last year have been part-time jobs. And the CBO just came out and said over the next short period of time, we're going to lose 2.5 million full-time jobs. Obamacare was sold as a jobs program. So what has the Obama administration done? They said, look, this frees people up from being trapped in a job, and now you can be a better parent. You're going to have more time to make dinner for your children. You're going to have more time to work out, perhaps, and even more time, are you ready for this, to become an entrepreneur and start that new business you've been thinking about. Daryl, that's quite an opportunity, isn't it?
Quite an opportunity.
All these unemployed folks have all these opportunities. Is that remarkable?
I think it's remarkable, but I don't think you understand the depths of the poetry shortage that we have in America, that will all these poets that will be unleashed, all the spare time that they'll have to be able to write poetry, maybe learn guitar, maybe piano, paint. They could become artists. Their whole day will be freed up.
Do you know what they even say? They said it's good because now businesses looking for employees have a bigger pool to choose from. They're actually painting the jobless situation as an economic boom.
I'm old enough to remember when we called it unemployment. When businesses had a greater pool of potential employees, that was called an unemployment problem. And typically you had a factor, you could say it was 7.5% or 8% unemployment when you had a big pool of unemployed.
I can see it now. Hey, to my little daughters, little ladies, Daddy has lost his job, but it's okay because now I can start that business I've always wanted. Now I'm going to come make dinner for you every night. We're going to work out together. We're going to go camping. But the only problem is I don't have any money to do that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure the landlords are happy about this latest move from Obamacare.
I also want to talk to you tonight, Daryl, a little bit about who's the boss, the federal government or the states. And I want to talk about the Second Amendment and the NRA. They're at odds. It's remarkable.
It's pretty important there.
We'll be right back with Daryl Day.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie. At Gears, we're proud to offer you a complete transmission service starting at $49.95.
We also offer free shuttle service in our Gears limo.
Lifetime warranties.
Transmission services for $49.95.
Come let my daddy fix your car.
Hi, I'm Daryl Day.
And I'm Burnie Thompson.
You know, we both proudly served our nation in uniform.
And we still serve today on the radio, expanding freedom and protecting the family budget.
And using the airwaves to educate, enlighten, and entertain, and sometimes irritate.
So join us every day and link arms, and let's do our part to restore this republic.
Join me each morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m.
And join me from 11 to 2 on Talk Radio 101.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie.
Is your check engine light on?
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Don't pay for a diagnostics.
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Transmission services for $49.95.
Free shuttle service in our Gears limo.
Come let my daddy fix your car.
If you need your car worked on, take it where I get my car worked on. Gears Transmissions, whether it's your engine, your brakes, or a $49 transmission special, Gears Transmissions will take care of you. And you know you're never going to get upsold, you're never going to get swindled, and you'll get to meet my friend Jay, my good friend Jay, who, by the way, if you like what we're doing here on the Whiskey Rebellion, this is part of Gears Productions. Gears Transmissions you can find online at gearstransmissions.com or in Panama City near the mall, just about a mile up 231 toward Interstate 10. On your left, it's right by the Dollar General. I've been calling it the end of politics. What do I mean by that? For a long time, I have been telling you that Mussolini used to say everything inside the state, nothing outside the state. In other words, everything was political. There used to be an old joke. Do you remember when we'd say, you want to make a federal issue out of this? Yeah, now everything's a federal issue. Obamacare, our relationship with our doctor, we were told that 1 + 1 + 1 would be 0. In other words, we'd get benefit plus benefit plus benefit, and it wouldn't cost a dime. And we'd get a whole bunch of jobs in return. That has not happened, Daryl. And now I think the reason I say that this is a situation where it's the end of politics is reality is setting in. Rhetoric, I can't find Democrats anymore to argue with me in the abstract about how we're going to have more access, better treatment, and a lower cost. It's affected you and me personally.
Yeah, I was very happy with my insurance plan. I didn't like the premiums, but I don't think anyone likes the premiums.
When we had Blue Cross Blue Shield.
We had Blue Cross Blue Shield. We lost that because of the new mandates from Obamacare.
And why is that? It's because Obama said it wasn't good enough for you and me. There was no gynecological care.
Right.
We could not become transgendered.
Right.
If that's something we wanted to do.
Well,
we didn't have that in our plan, and we have to.
Yeah, we have to pay for things that we don't use because one size fits all now. You can't get a custom-tailored plan as an American citizen. And I was happy with the plan I had. I was happy with my doctor. Now, I can keep my doctor, but I am now considered, we are now considered cash patients.
Yeah.
In other words, the insurance plan that we now have because of Obamacare, our doctor doesn't take. So the period part that was at the end of that was a lie.
I mean, isn't that completely backwards if you think about it? The president is telling me what's good enough for me. Shouldn't we tell the government what we want? I mean, okay, I got to pay more now, but at least I can go see a gynecologist, you know, if I wanted to. I can become transgendered if I want to. And you know, Daryl, there is an advantage to being transgender. Do you know the definition?
No, and I'm not sure that I want to, but it looks like I'm fixing to
I have learned about this. The idea, a transgendered person's idea of a good time, to eat, drink, and be merry. Now, I made a mistake during the show, and I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I was calling it transvestites, and producer Malcolm pointed out that a transvestite, see, if you become transgendered, you can eat, drink, and be merry. If you're if you're transgendered, you can eat, drink, and be merry.
I think one will get you thrown out of the ladies' room, and the other one you can stay.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you're a transvestite, it means you act like one. You can eat, drink, and act like Mary.
Act like Mary. Well,
you know.
I wasn't up on all that.
Well, we were told, though, that Obamacare was going to create 400,000 jobs right off the top. Jobs were supposed to be a good thing. And now and 4 million in the long run. Now that we are hemorrhaging jobs, we're told you don't want jobs because you're trapped in a job. You can't be who you want to be. You can't start your own business if you're burdened with a job.
How does government regulation create a job? And if Obamacare was so good, why don't we all become insurance agents and sell each other insurance?
And if unemployment is so good, why don't we all lose our jobs and become entrepreneurs?
Right. You know, you simply can't make a silk purse out of what is a sow's ear, and Obamacare is a horrendous scam on the people of America. I said on the show this week that if you've been financially damaged, i.e. your premiums have gone up and you can't see the doctor that you want to see, I think that you have a court system in the United States of America set up by the Constitution that you could file suit against the Democratic Party for passing this, because this is their baby wholly.
It really is. There as many problems as you and I have with the Republican Party. We both broke up.
Exactly.
This is not about partisanship.
That's right.
It's about principle. But there is not a single Republican fingerprint on
Not
Obamacare.
one.
This is
Not
really
one.
the Democrat, health care plan.
Yeah. You can't push for this. You can't make it a part of your signature legislation and then run from it, or begin to paint it as something that it totally is not. The thing with the unemployment situation, the 2.5 million jobs that hours that would amount to 2.5 million jobs, those disappeared. That's money that will not be earned, that will not end up in the private sector, that will not be spent on new tires, clothes for the kids, meals, entertainment, going out to eat with the family, tips to waitresses. That will never happen now.
Daryl, if I sold you tires and I said these tires will go 60,000 miles and they don't even fit your car, they're much more expensive than I told you they would be, and they get 10,000 miles before they start blowing out, you can sue me for fraud.
As I should be able to.
Why can't we? Don't you think there should be some mechanism to hold the government accountable?
There is,
because that was fraud.
It's called the court systems of America. But here's the thing: I would assume that we would have to do a class action suit of some kind. It would be breathtaking in its scope, and I don't know that we've ever gone there. But if you are damaged financially, as many people in America have been damaged by Obamacare, i.e. their premiums have gone up and they've gotten less for their money, I don't know why we can't enter into some sort of a suit against the people that brought it about.
I mean, if you think about this, not only have our premiums gone up, our co-pays have gone up, and the
deductibles have gone up.
Everything has gone up, and our choices have gone down, and jobs are being lost. So, you know what I would like to see? I would have liked to have seen this be a you first situation. Obama says it's wonderful. Let's watch Michelle and Barack Obama go on healthcare.org and register for insurance.
Well,
and if it's so good, we'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want them to have to do it. And this is where you and I agree. I don't want to force the Obamas to go on it, because I don't want to force the friends of mine that live down the street. I don't want to force another American citizen to do something they don't want to do.
So if you were the, how do we stop this? I cannot imagine any governor allowing any citizen of their state to be forced by the federal government to have to pay 2 or 3 times as much. Don't you think states ought to say, we're not doing this?
Well, the first way to stop it would have been to defund it. The Congress of the United States has the ability. The House of Representatives could have stopped it. They could have defunded it. They broke and ran when they had the opportunity to do that. The second thing that needs to be done is states need to step up and nullify it at its very core, along with a host of other federal laws.
There's a lot we can do. I want to talk to you in just a moment about the Second Amendment Preservation Act. In Florida, and this is what we could do with Obamacare as well, there is a representative who is saying, we're not going to enforce federal gun laws. And guess who opposes it? They don't actively oppose it, but they're not supporting it. The NRA. We're going to talk about that in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie. We would like to invite you to Gears for a complete transmission service for only $49.95.
If your car needs belts, brakes, tune-ups, and more, we're the place to come to. We have lifetime warranties on our exclusive Gears transmissions.
Come see us.
Hi, I'm Daryl Day.
And I'm Burnie Thompson.
You know, we both proudly served our nation in uniform.
And we still serve today on the radio, expanding freedom and protecting the family budget.
And using the airwaves to educate, enlighten, and entertain, and sometimes irritate.
So join us every day and link arms, and let's do our part to restore this republic.
Join me each morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m.
And join me from 11 to 2 on Talk Radio 101.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie.
Is your check engine light on?
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Don't pay for a diagnostics.
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Transmission services for $49.95.
Free shuttle service in our Gears limo.
Come let my daddy fix your car.
Let's expand freedom and protect the family budget. You and me, right here every week. And if you like what we're doing, drop me a line at myfreedomradio.com. That's where you can email me and let me know your thoughts. On The Burnie Thompson Show, a Gears production. Here in Florida, we have a state representative by the name of Dane Eagle. and he had a great idea. He's got the Second Amendment Preservation Act, a bill filed in the state legislature that essentially nullifies all federal gun laws, past, present, and future. States across the country are beginning to catch on to this idea. When the federal government oversteps its bounds, the only way it can do that is if localities and states enforce anti-constitutional federal laws. Now, the NRA is not on board. And it's interesting because the NRA is pointing to what they call grave concerns about the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Here's what the NRA is saying. If we nullify all federal gun laws, what about all of the good federal laws that we've been working on all this time? Do you know what the NRA is essentially saying? They are giving or acknowledging powers that the federal government does not have. The problem was saying that we want the federal government to make and enforce federal gun laws. If you're going to say we're going to get good gun laws, then you have to accept bad gun laws. The problem is you cannot point to that article in the Constitution that gives the federal government the power to make any federal gun laws. So this Second Amendment Preservation Act, filed in the state of Florida, I believe is going to smoke out those who really believe in the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, and those who just simply give it lip service. Daryl, here's my concern. If the NRA is saying that we have grave concerns, guess what tepid Republicans are going to do? They're going to use that as cover. And they are not going to stand up for our right to keep and bear arms.
Well, what will become more important to them is their grade in the annual NRA magazine. Now, I use this phrase, and I got it from you. The story got started in the middle somehow, when we're worried about what kind of federal law in regards to firearms, if it's a good law or if it's a bad law. The question that should be asked, why is there a federal firearm law anyway?
Where do they get the power?
They don't. They pull it out of thin air.
They assume it.
The only way they could possibly come up with any idea would be perhaps interstate commerce, and that would only be the regulation of how they go across state lines. Florida, let's say that an automatic weapon was built in the state of Florida, and they were going to sell them in the state of South Carolina. If Georgia said you can't cross our state lines with your legal product, then the federal government could step in and say you can't charge them a tariff to do that.
Yeah.
But as far as having a federal firearm law, and if we nullify all federal firearms law, there won't be a good or bad federal firearm law in the state of Florida. There will be no federal laws.
All it's really doing, in my opinion, the Second Amendment Preservation Act, is saying that the federal government has no authority, and the federal government cannot enforce these laws. Any law that the federal government passes relies on localities and states to enforce it, whether it's Obamacare, whether it's drug laws, all of which are completely outside the purview and the legitimate authority of the federal government. And states are catching on. It would be nice if Florida got on board.
Well, that's basically what this act will do. We'll say that no state agency, no political jurisdiction anywhere in the state of Florida can use state funds or even local political jurisdiction funds to support any enforcement of a federal gun law. And I strongly support it.
You know, in the Florida Senate, the president of the Senate, Don Gates, he's sending out an email. And he's sending out an email saying, hey, look, the rules are, if the bill hasn't already been written, the time has passed, we just can't get around to it. I got an email, as did anybody else who sent President of the Florida Senate, Don Gates, an email asking, do you support the Second Amendment Preservation Act that was filed in the House? They needed a companion bill in the Senate. Excuses, excuses. But guess what they had time to do recently, Daryl? They are talking about everything from medical marijuana to brewing beer. They spent the whole day on several beer bills.
Well, they've also spent a lot of precious time on whether or not barrel racers have to wear white pants and a shirt that is the approved color by the racing secretary. Also, new laws on horse racing. We can't have any horse races where the horse changes directions. How do we ever get them back to the stable?
How do we ever get Republicans to understand the urgency of the situation? That's my problem. The proportion of the problem and the urgency of the problem. This is not politics as usual, and that's why I'm more angry, actually, with Republicans than I am Democrats.
I think the reason that Republicans have such a tough time with it, it's like anybody struggle with whether or not there's a God. If you acquiesce to the fact there's a God, what are you going to do with him? The same thing when you realize that you've got a federal government that is totally, completely out of control and overreaching. If you acknowledge that, well, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And you have to do something about it.
Well, what is the purpose of the government? I mean, according to the Declaration of Independence, the greatest breakup letter ever written. We are given our rights from our Creator. All right, so God grants us rights. I can't grant you a right. Nobody can grant you a right, even if they're elected, because they're not the Lord. Now, we gave government, delegated government, certain powers. Likewise, the government can't give itself more powers because it's not the people. And that is what this Second Amendment Preservation Act really does. It says you can't do that, whether it's a good law or a bad law. And I'd really like to see the NRA get on board.
Well, you know, the NRA is going to have difficulty because they think that they've done so much good work to create those good federal laws, when the fact of the matter is they shouldn't be any federal laws at all to begin with. And they're going to have to deal with the fact that, well, now we're going to have to support something that really takes away our reason for being.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be up to, you and me to barrage the Senate. See, they listen a lot. They think they're really cool. If you've ever walked through the Capitol in Tallahassee, I mean, these guys are like celebrities. And for every politician you see about 10 people in business suits with a smile and a card. And they are offering this, that, and the other if you'll just support the bill we're pushing. And that is why they are spending precious time on several beer bills rather than standing athwart the federal government and saying stop. I think it is so important, Daryl, and the only way we can resist the federal government is if localities and states refuse, not resist, but refuse to assist.
Yeah. I don't know how you can possibly make legitimate time spent in Tallahassee on whether or not a citizen can drink 64 ounces or 65 ounces of beer. I can't imagine a greater absolute waste of time, money, and effort than barrel racing rules and regulations, whether or not horses can run in a straight line or not. The time that they spend on such absurdities, because their hands are in everything. They are the great forbidders, as you're so fond of saying.
Absolutely.
And when you take upon yourself the aura or the role of a great forbidder, you find that you're busy forbidding things.
Absolutely. I have a question for you as well. The question is this: do you support the Second Amendment Preservation Act or the NRA? Please email me your answer at BurnieThompson.com. Go there, email me your answer, and I'll read them on the next program.
Hi, I'm Daryl Day.
And I'm Burnie Thompson.
You know, we both proudly served our nation in uniform.
And we still serve today on the radio, expanding freedom and protecting the family budget.
And using the airwaves to educate, enlighten, and entertain, and sometimes irritate.
So join us every day and link arms, and let's do our part to restore this republic.
Join me each morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m.
And join me from 11 to 2 on Talk Radio 101.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie.
Is your check engine light on?
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Don't pay for a diagnostics.
At Gears, we will check it for free.
Transmission services for $49.95.
Free shuttle service in our Gears limo.
Come let my daddy fix your car. Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So now that states across the country are recognizing that the federal government has exceeded its legitimate authority, which is simply to protect the rights God gave us and set up some common goods like roads, storm drains, the military, courts, things that we all use are common goods. Anytime you see something that benefits one segment of society, be it Social Security, be it Medicaid, whatever, you have not identified a common good. You've identified a special interest. States across the country are realizing that if states refuse to assist in enforcing anti-constitutional laws like Obamacare and gun control, we can resist. Daryl, what can we do as citizens to do our part to retain our freedoms?
Well, we obviously have to be more educated on the issues. Now, there used to be a time when we could just worry about going to work and paying for the kids' braces and college education. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is our representatives are simply not doing their job. And for whatever reason they want to tell us, they're just not doing their job. And it's because they've gotten themselves involved in so many things. We hear it all the time. I'm on this committee. I don't know anything about that. I'm sequestered over on the other side of town, and I don't know. Don't blame that on me. And I'm worn out from hearing that. Why is it that states typically have balanced budgets? States typically are not running deficits, but the federal government is just the absolute extreme opposite of that. I think it's because the further away that you get from the people, the more crazy you become. We just have to keep on them. We have to continue to email them. We have to call them. We're going to have to take time out of our busy lives to attend more meetings and make sure that we're in the faces of our representatives. And we're going to have to start voting for some people that we believe in the Constitution and forget party affiliation.
That's exactly right.
Democrats and Republicans both need to bail on their parties.
It is the end of politics, as I like to say. It's the end of politics because the reality is going to trump the rhetoric. The pain is starting to hit everybody, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. And isn't it about time that we just link arms as Americans and say that the government's job is to protect our freedom no more? Do you support the Second Amendment, Preservation Act, or the NRA? Email me and I'll read your answers on the next program. Let's expand freedom and protect the family budget. You and me, right here every week on the Burnie Thompson Show, a Gears production.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And I'm Katie. At Gears, we're proud to offer you a complete transmission service starting at $49.95.
We also offer free shuttle service in our Gears limo.
Lifetime warranties.
Transmission services for $49.95.
Come let my daddy fix your car.
Hi, I'm Darrell Day.
And I'm Burnie Thompson.
You know, we both proudly served our nation in uniform.
And we still serve today on the radio, expanding freedom and protecting the family budget.
And using the airwaves to educate, enlighten, and entertain, and sometimes irritate.
So join us every day and link arms, and let's do our part to restore this republic.
Join me each morning, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m.
And join me from 11 to 2 on Talk Radio 101. If you need your car worked on, take it where I get my car worked on. Gears Transmissions, whether it's your engine, your brakes, or a $49 transmission special, Gears Transmissions will take care of you. And you know you're never going to get upsold, you're never going to get swindled, and you'll get to meet my friend Jay, my good friend Jay, who, by the way, if you like what we're doing here on the Whiskey Rebellion, this is part of Gears Productions. Gears Transmissions you can find online at gearstransmissions.com or in Panama City near the mall. Just about a mile up 231 toward Interstate 10. On your left, it's right by the Dollar General.